Deandra Sanders' journey, baby Snow's fight, and the strength of a family. A story of love, survival, and resilience. When people hear the name Sanders, their minds often turn to football, to the dazzling plays, the championships, and the larger-than-life personality of Deion Primetime Sanders. But behind the fame, trophies, and highlight reels, there exists another, quieter side to this famous family. It's a side that doesn't take place on the gridiron, under stadium lights, or in front of roaring fans. Instead, it unfolds in hospitals, nurseries, and quiet moments between a mother and her child. In this deeply personal story, Deandra Sanders, Deion's eldest daughter, has shown the world that resilience isn't just about athletic greatness. It's about survival, motherhood, and enduring love. Her journey into motherhood has not been a fairy tale. It has been a battlefield filled with surgeries, complications, depression, heartbreak, and finally, triumph in the form of her baby boy, Snow. Deandra has always been known as a woman unafraid of sharing her life with the public. In a world where many celebrities choose to hide their vulnerabilities, she has embraced them. She has chosen honesty, even when that honesty meant exposing her struggles with health, relationships, and mental well-being. It's this raw openness that has allowed her to inspire thousands of women who see themselves in her journey. By speaking openly about her pain and perseverance, she has created a bridge between the Sanders family name, often associated with glitz and success, and the everyday battles of women across the world. The battles before motherhood. Long before Snow was born, Deandra's body was already a battleground. She endured for fibroid surgeries, medically known as myomectomies, to remove painful and recurring uterine growths. These fibroids were not only physically exhausting but also carried implications for her fertility. Each operation was a gamble, a painful step toward a future she hoped would include children but wasn't guaranteed. Every time she went under the knife, she carried both fear and hope, never knowing if motherhood would one day be possible. Then came her pregnancy. For most women, this would be a moment of unfiltered joy. For Deandra, it was accompanied by life-threatening challenges. She was diagnosed with placenta accreta, a dangerous condition where the placenta embeds too deeply into the uterine wall. This diagnosis meant her pregnancy was high risk from the very beginning. To make matters worse, she faced the looming shadow of a potential miscarriage. Each doctor's appointment became a mix of relief and anxiety, every ultrasound both a reassurance and a reminder of fragility. Through it all, she clung to faith. In public, she spoke with honesty about her fears. In private, she prayed for strength. This was not the glamorous image of celebrity motherhood so often portrayed on social media. This was raw, unfiltered survival. The arrival of baby Snow. When baby Snow was finally born, the battle wasn't over. Instead of going home to a nursery decorated with balloons and toys, he was taken to the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, NICU. For any parent, this is one of the most terrifying experiences imaginable. The NICU is a place filled with monitors, wires, tubes, and machines, where every beep carries weight and every second feels endless. For Deandra, it was a cruel continuation of the difficulties she had already endured. But amid the fear, there was hope. Snow, though fragile, fought fiercely. Each day brought progress, each week a milestone. Slowly but surely, the baby who entered the world under such uncertain circumstances began to grow stronger. The NICU experience left a permanent mark on Deandra. September, for most people, represents back-to-school season or the shift from summer to autumn. For her, it now represents NICU Awareness Month, a reminder of those harrowing days when she held her tiny warrior close to her chest and prayed for his survival. On social media, she has embraced this month not just as a commemoration of her son's journey, but as a tribute to all NICU families. By sharing her story, she has joined a chorus of mothers who remind the world that behind every smiling toddler photo, there may be a story of tubes, tears, and triumph. A first birthday like no other. Last month, Snow turned 1. It was more than a birthday. It was a celebration of resilience, a victory over statistics, and a reminder of miracles. To the world, it might have looked like a fun party. To Deandra, It was a dream realized, a chapter of her life that she once feared might never come. She marked the milestone with a humorous and heartfelt update. Snow weighed 28.4 pounds, loudly crying, face weary, face with tears of joy. The post resonated with mothers everywhere. It wasn't just about numbers. It was about relatability. At just 1 year old, Snow was heavier than most children his age, proof that he was not only surviving but thriving. That weight symbolized security. It meant that after months of uncertainty, Snow was eating well, growing strong, and ready to face the future with the same determination that defined his first year. But Deandra didn't stop at a single post. She gave Snow a 3-day birthday celebration fit for royalty. Day 1 was a private getaway, a chance for mother and son to enjoy precious time together away from the public eye. Day 2 brought the magic of Disneyland, complete with matching custom shirts, one of which proudly declared Snow as the birthday boy. Pictures of the day showed pure joy, with Snow wide-eyed, refusing to nap because the world was simply too exciting. Day 3 featured a Mickey Mouse-themed pool party, with family and friends joining in to celebrate the child who had become everyone's miracle. Prime time as Grandpa. It's no surprise that Snow has captured the heart of his grandfather, Deion Sanders. Known to the world as the loud, confident, and stylish primetime, Deion has shown a different side in his role as grandpa. At his Texas ranch, he went so far as to create a dedicated space for his grandson, proudly calling it Snow's Playground. For Sanders, who has spent decades under the weight of fame and expectation, Snow represents something pure. It's no longer about touchdowns or accolades. It's about love, family, and building memories. Watching him dote on his grandson has reminded fans that even icons find their greatest joy in the simplest moments. Pushing a swing, sharing a laugh, or watching a toddler run free. The shadows of struggle. Yet for all the joy, Deandra has never hidden the shadows. Motherhood came with not only physical risks but also mental health challenges. After Snow's birth, she struggled with postpartum depression, a condition still shrouded in stigma despite its prevalence. Instead of suffering in silence, she spoke openly, describing the emotional toll it took and the importance of seeking help. This honesty turned her personal struggle into a mission. By sharing her experiences, she created space for other mothers to admit their pain, to seek support, and to understand they weren't alone. She reminded her followers that motherhood is not always Instagram perfect. Can be messy, exhausting, and overwhelming. And yet, even in its hardest moments, it remains profoundly beautiful. A community of NICU mothers. Deandra's openness has connected her with other mothers who have walked similar paths. Among them is Corey Broaddus, daughter of Snoop Dogg, who also shared her own NICU journey. Broaddus' words about balancing love against the intimidating machinery of the NICU struck a deep chord with Deandra. "It's such an emotional roller coaster," Broaddus said. "But like I said, it's nothing that God gave us that we can't handle. And when we come in here, we try to make sure our love is bigger than the wires and the tubes and the machines." For Deandra, these words captured the essence of her own journey. The NICU is not just about medical battles. It is about the extraordinary strength of parents who choose love over fear, who sit for endless hours beside incubators, and who cling to hope even when the odds feel insurmountable. More than just a celebrity story, what makes Deandra's journey so powerful is that it transcends celebrity culture. Yes, she carries the Sanders name, and yes, her father and brothers dominate sports headlines. But her story is not about fame. It's about motherhood. It's about survival. It's about the quiet victories that never make highlight reels but matter more than championships ever could. Through her vulnerability, she has become a voice for women navigating infertility, pregnancy complications, postpartum depression, and NICU battles. She has turned her pain into purpose, and her purpose into inspiration. Conclusion: Snow, the warrior. Today, baby Snow is thriving. At just 1 year old, he is strong, happy, and surrounded by love. His journey from the NICU to Snow's playground at his grandfather's ranch is nothing short of miraculous. And while the world may still associate the Sanders name with football, those who know this story understand that its most inspiring chapter belongs not to the field but to a mother and her son. As Deandra herself wrote, "Becoming a NICU mom was not part of the plan, but it became part of my story." And what a story it is. A tale of survival, of faith, of family, and of the kind of love that turns battles into blessings.